We're rolling.
Okay, this is an interview with Henry Del Percio. Days in Hicksville, New York, the 26th of June, 2003, approximately 8:30 a.m. Interviewers are Wayne Clark and Mike Russert. Could you give me your full name, date of birth, and place of birth, please?
Okay, Henry J. Del Percio, born March 20th, 1925, in Flushing, New York.
Okay, what was your educational background prior to entering service?
Oh, I graduated high school, excuse me, and within
There's a glass of water if you need.
within 3 months of my birthday, I was drafted, so I didn't have much opportunity to go to
Okay.
school.
Do you remember where you were and your reaction when you heard about Pearl Harbor?
Yes. It was Sunday morning. I was in the local stationery store to buy the newspaper. And like everyone else, I didn't know where Pearl Harbor was. I never heard of it. And I didn't know it would affect me because I was still, I guess, about 16, 17 years old.
Okay. So you were drafted?
Yes, within 3 months.
Okay. Drafted into the, I noticed you went into an anti-aircraft battalion?
That's right. I was assigned to the 843rd Anti-Aircraft Battalion in Camp Stewart, Georgia.
Well, where was your induction and where did you go for your basic?
There.
Oh, you went
Camp Stewart, Georgia.
Okay.
And I became a half-track gunner.
Now, was this your first time away from home?
Yes, more or less. Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Oh, I missed
Especially
home.
going into the South.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about the South, but I learned to I learned to like the South a lot.
Okay. Could you tell about some of your specialized training then, since you went into a half-track with an anti-aircraft unit?
Yeah, I was a machine gunner in a half-track. It's a quad machine gun. And we were on maneuvers in the Okefenokee Swamp. I had some experiences there. I fell in quicksand and alone and was able to get out. I almost got bit by a rattlesnake, cutting camouflage. But anyhow, as soon as we got back to camp, there was a notice on the bulletin board that the Air Force needed personnel, and I took the test for the Air Force, Army Air Force, and was sent from the swamps of Georgia to Miami Beach, Florida. Nothing could be better than that.
Okay, what kind of planes did you train on?
Okay, then from Miami Beach I went to Armorer's School in Lowryfield, Colorado, and Gunnery School in Fort Myers, Florida. Then I was assigned to a B-25 Mitchell at Columbia Air Force Base with a crew, my own crew of 6. We trained at Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay. So did your crew stay together for your entire time?
Yes, here's what happened. We finished training and they gave us a brand new airplane. By the way, my pilot was just barely 19. You wouldn't give him the car. They gave us a brand new airplane and we flew alone to Naples, Italy. It took 14 days to get to Naples,
Now,
Italy.
what route did you fly?
The southern route through South America, all those short hops, Ascension Island, and through North Africa.
You say you flew alone?
Alone. We flew alone, yeah.
Just, okay.
Our own plane, our own... My bombardier was also a navigator. But we made it. Some didn't, but we made it. But 14 days. You can go quicker by boat. But it's a small plane with limited range. A Mitchell, as you know, is the same type of plane that Jimmy Doolittle used in the bombing of Tokyo from the carrier.
Did you get a chance to name your plane at all?
No, we didn't name our plane. But when we got there, I got there in the latter part of the war. You didn't keep the same plane, and even the crews mixed around too. No, we didn't name. A lot of our planes did have names, as you can see from here. But
well, why don't you hold that up and tell us about that right now, then, since you mentioned that.
Okay. This was the 487th Squadron of the 348th Bomb Group and the 12th Air Force, mediums. We were called the Dogface Squadron. These pictures were originally sketched by Bill Malden.
Let me just focus on every one. So just Just hold it there for a minute.
Now, why was it called the Dogface Squadron? Do you know?
Because we supported American infantry, and infantrymen were called dogface, full of mud, as you can see, and unshaven. And that was our biggest job, was to low-level support of the infantry.
Okay.
And we did bomb bridges and tunnels and railroads.
Now, you told us this was very unique.
Yes, this is
The decoration. Why was that so unique?
Well, as you know, most nose-on in the Army Air Corps, the Air Corps were women. They used women. This is unique in that there's no women, and this is the only squadron that Bill Malden ever painted.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So, where were you? Where was your base that were you stationed, or did you move around?
Okay, we were stationed at Corsica, the island of Corsica, owned by France, but off the coast of Italy. Our missions were not long missions like the B-17s. Generally ran around 3 hours. Most of our bombing would be in the Brenner Pass railroads to try to cut the enemy supply lines. We got up to Vienna once or twice. And then we moved to Rimini, Italy. Rimini is on the Adriatic coast of Italy. Our air base was 14 miles from the front line. It was a captured air base, and we flew there till the end of the war. At least I did. And VE Day was one of the happiest days of my life. I didn't think I would survive. Some of my friends did not survive. But the ones we still meet now, some of them that were prisoners, we still have the reunions, and we enjoy each other. And I must say, the one thing I am very, very proud of the men I served with, because every one of them was willing to give their life and their all for their country, which I don't think you'd find so prevalent today.
Now, you said you were a tail gunner. What was so unique about being a tail gunner on a B-25?
Well, for one thing, a tail gun is riding backwards. You never see where you're going. You only see where you've been. It's very lonely because you don't see any other member of the crew. And
so you couldn't move back and forth?
No, a tail gunner at B-25 has to kneel down. You don't have a seat. It's not a turret or anything like that. You kneel down. In the beginning, you used to lay down, but then they got a little bicycle seat and you could kneel down. And you'd have to kneel down as long as you're in enemy territory, which could lead to cramping of the legs and stuff like that. But you could never go, it's almost impossible to go from the rear of the plane to the front of the plane, because there are only, you have to climb over the bomb bay, and there's only 12 inches between the roof of the plane and the bomb bay. So we didn't generally go up front, or they didn't generally come back.
Now, did you wear a parachute?
No, you couldn't wear a parachute in the plane, in the tail, until we changed parachutes to back parachutes. Then you could wear a parachute, but you couldn't wear anything in front of you because your controls were there, and it was very narrow. Both my shoulders would touch both sides of the plane. The ammunition belts ran alongside your shoulder.
So did you have the snap-on chutes?
Yes, you wore your harness and a Mae West underneath. Well, I think in this picture you would see that.
Okay, why don't you hold that up to the camera? Hold that up
you would see what we wore. Even though it could be summertime, you still wore heavy clothing to keep warm. As you know, military planes were not built for comfort. They have no heating, no bathrooms, or anything like that, like they have today.
Okay, got it.
Now, did you wear a heated suit at all?
No.
You didn't go that high?
We didn't wear heated suits, and we never carried oxygen.
Okay. Did you wear a flak jacket at all?
You could, yeah.
Did you wear one yourself?
I would not wear it. I would put it underneath the bottom here, or on the side.
Okay.
We were young men of 18.
Yes,
19,
right.
So.
Now, did you ever decorate your jackets at all?
Most people did, yes.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
Italian artists were very good at that. Actually, my jacket was stolen somewhere along the line, so.
Okay. Could you, was your plane ever severely damaged?
Oh yes, many flak holes and stuff. In fact, I have a picture. If you look closely at this picture, you'll see this fellow this was my original plane, 7J. We had numbers, and it was hit, flak hit right on the chin. A Willie, that's called Willie, G.I. Joe, and the flak hit on the chin, and we just patched it up, but there were many other holes and stuff. And I have the before picture too. Okay?
Could you describe some of your missions that you made, or ones that really come to your mind?
Well, one mission where I was, I think, most frightened was, don't forget, this is near the end of the war. We were attacked by Me-262s, and I couldn't believe the plane could go so fast. I was trying to get the guns on them, and by the time I'd get the guns here, the 262 was that way. You know?
Tell us what an Me-262 was.
Oh, an Me-262 was a German, the first German jet planes. That was, I guess if they had enough of them, they would have done a lot of damage, you know, because you couldn't, it was impossible to shoot them down. They were shot down by fighter pilots when they were landing, but they would never shoot them down in a dogfight.
Were you aware the Germans had jets, or was this the first time you...
No, it was a shock to me. You know, people don't understand, when you're in the service or in the military, in combat, you don't have newspapers, you don't have radios. You could get a radio, but we used to listen to Axis Sally. That's a German radio. So therefore you don't have information.
Were there any other missions that come to mind that maybe you want to relate?
No, not particularly. I flew 32 combat missions. What comes to mind, my friend bailed out. He was a tail gunner, and his parachute didn't open, and I saw that. And my other buddy, I watched him get shot down, and he became a prisoner of the Germans. And I found him 14 years later, through an article in the magazine, because he was in prison camp, and then the war ended, and we went back to America. There's no communication, you know.
When did you return to the United States?
July 4th, 1945, I left Italy. I was home on Times Square, VJ Day. Unbelievable. I wasn't sober.
It must have been quite a celebration, wasn't it?
It was, but I don't remember it. That's the problem. The people would swarm out. I had to walk from the railroad station to my home, and you couldn't go a block without them swarming out with a tray of drinks and stuff. So I don't remember too much.
So anybody in uniform was considered a hero?
Absolutely.
What do you recall your reaction to the death of President Roosevelt?
We got it much later, after it was over. It was very sad. But we found out one thing in combat. You don't worry about exterior things as much as you concentrate on staying alive. Your main job when you're in combat, whether you're an infantryman or the Air Force, is surviving. That's what it's all about. Because you see it all around you. Someone's number's up. Your job is to survive. That's why I was so happy on VE Day. Unbelievable. We celebrated.
Do you recall your reaction when you heard about the dropping of the atomic bombs?
Yes. I felt very relieved. I am one who believed the atomic bomb saved my life, because we took our planes home. We were going to go to Japan or that area with them, and I don't think we would have survived if we had to continue doing what you're doing. Very few people would survive. It's luck, you know.
So you flew back to the States from
That's right.
Which way did you go?
Southern route again. You ever hear of Ascension Island?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No, you flew back with the same crew?
Yeah, I have the pictures home, yeah. Same crew.
Okay.
Except the engineer. He was wounded, so he was treated and left the outfit. I don't know what they did with him, you know. He got wounded twice, in fact. When
you returned to the States and were discharged, Did you ever make use of the GI Bill?
Yes. Yes. I was looking to the future, so I went to school for air conditioning, servicing and all of that. Unfortunately, it was a little too soon. Air conditioning was not that popular yet in 45 and 46, 46. But that, I think the GI Bill is one of the best things they ever created.
Did you make use of the 52-20 Club?
Yes, part of the time, yes. That helped too.
Now, I know you've already somewhat answered this, but did you stay in contact with those that you served with?
Yes. Not right away, but later on we formed one of them formed the Reunion Association. Now we have a 57 Bomb Wing Reunion Association, which is various bomb groups, B-25s, and we meet every year, and we have a good time for a week. And the stories get bigger and bigger and bigger. In fact, when you go home, you get powder burns all over your face from all the war stories.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
Yes, I'm a member of the American Legion, yes.
Okay. How do you think your service changed or affected your life?
Oh, it changed my life, I think, because it made me much more serious about life, and how it made me realize how valuable life is. And it gave me a purpose in that one of the reasons I became a New York City firefighter, as you'll see on there, was because it gives you the opportunity to help people. And if we are going to lead a good life, a happy life on this earth, you would have to help people. There's a great deal, as you're doing yourself, a great deal of satisfaction in helping people. And firefighting does that, as other jobs do too.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for your interview.
All right, thank you.
That's good.
And we're back down.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I flew 32 missions as a B-25 tail gunner. I was awarded the Air Medal with 2 Oak Leaves and 4 Battle Stars. And some of my recollections are that you feel, like I said before, all alone in the tail of the airplane. And I wanted to say that there was no pleasure in killing the enemy. We used to go down and strafe German troops, and I'm telling you, it still haunts me today, the lines of Red Cross ambulances leaving the battle scene. And there were none of the men I served with I could ever see took any pleasure in killing the enemy. Hollywood would like to make you think that war is glorious, but it is not. It's a necessary job that had to be done. And like I say, I am so very proud of the men I served with. They were willing to give their all. War is a terrible thing, and I wish another means could be found to solve the world's problems. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Okay. I don't know if you can get this.
Yes.
Okay, yep. Let me just zoom in on it, and you can tell us where you are and who the rest of the members are. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is my crew. We trained together and flew a lot of missions together, not all of them. And the pilot is 19 years old. He's the guy in the middle. The co-pilot, well, he was an old guy, 24. And the bombardier was 19 years old. The radio man was 18. I was 18. And the engineer was about 26.
Now,
Could you point yourself out in that photograph?
Okay. I'm nearly in the middle.
Kneeling.
Right here.
Okay. Did you want to give their names?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
In fact, my pilot just became deceased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right.